I brought the baddest chick that I knew to the table with every guy that I met. Hey, they're beautiful. I'm actually going to break my response down into two parts. The first thing I'll say is that I actually don't believe in the one. I believe in the ones, plural. The challenge with the one theory is if that individual, because we all have our own individual choice, decides to choose differently, then that would leave us out by ourselves. And if that is the only one, then are we to be by ourselves the rest of our lives? And that may not have been what you intended. But I do think this is a common thought about the one because I thought it myself. I believe that all of us have different people that come across our path along our life journey, and we make the conscious choice and decision to either move forward with that connection or not. For example, when I was dating my husband, I was dating other men. And there could have been a point where I chose someone else that I was dating as opposed to choosing him. To be clear, I'm very grateful that I chose him. He's an amazing partner. But could things have worked out with someone else? I don't know. Perhaps they could. Would we have the connection that my husband and I do? I don't know. But I do know that there were different men that were presented to me along my life that I had an opportunity to connect with or not. And I just chose not to. So I prefer to think of the ones. And when we're looking at, is this someone that I want to pursue a connection with? Then here are some things that I think would be helpful in that selection process. Take your time. Baby, take your time, take your time, take your time. I am a firm believer that time is one of the greatest constructs that has ever been devised by God. The ability to be able to see who someone really is, see what their consistency or lack thereof, if they are a person of their word or not, if they have a desire to evolve into the best version of themselves, can only happen over time. Listen, we all bring our representatives to the table, myself included. I brought the baddest chick that I knew to the table with every guy that I met. And I think that we all do that. And over time, the representative then goes to the background and the real true version of us comes to the forefront. And so I say, take your time. Now, time could be 3 months, 6 months, it could be a year. Personally, for my husband and I was 41 when we met. We dated for 3 years, and that included 10 months of pre engagement therapy. And during that dating time, trust and believe that every Christmas, he was asked by my father what were his intentions. And he was very honest. I'm not ready to get married. And at the time, I wasn't really to settle down either. I had some things I was working through myself, and I was perfectly fine taking my time. Now, saying that, there are absolutely some beautiful couples and stories that I have heard of people who meet, they swiftly date, they swiftly marry, or whatever their form of long-term commitment is, and they live happily ever after. They have a beautiful story. I do think those are more the exception than the rule. And for me, my rule is take your time. Because at the end of the day, the person that you're going to lay your head down next to, that's the person that you want to see. Okay, next up, in identifying and recognizing the one, or we now know as the ones. Date often and date wisely. I actually got this principle from Wendy Williams. She used to say it a lot early on in her show, and actually all throughout the run of her show, to date often, and I'm adding date wisely. I know that the dating scene, child, it can be a little tough. The pool can be a little polluted. But I do think the beauty in dating wisely is really that you learn more about yourself. I learned the most about me when I was dating. I learned what I really do like because I had a theory in my head of what I liked. But when I was really connected with somebody and interacting with them, I really learned, ooh, that really is something that was important to me. No, it's not that big of a deal. Or I hadn't even considered that over there, but child, it is a must. And dating a wide variety of prospects. I was in ministry, and so I tended to focus solely on men who were deacons and elders and ushers in the church. I had to expand my scope. I met my husband at a young professionals mixer, and this was after doing some online dating for a while. And a mixer isn't something I would have necessarily saw myself meeting my husband at, but that's where I ended up meeting him. So date often and date wisely so you can really learn most about you.